Hey everybody, this is Chris with the 7-Minute Fix, and welcome to episode 11. We're going to be looking at making a logo in After Effects and animating it. This is actually a two-part lesson. Episode 11 is about building the logo in After Effects and some of its movements, and episode 12 will be about the animation. Now before we get started, let me show you what it's going to look like. So the main part of this file is the logo that we have showing on the screen right now. That is actually 3 different parts of our logo, and they all need to be different so that we can do the animations. We're going to build it in 3 different ways: the revolution, the star, and then student ministries. And so what I'm going to do now is actually delete everything that I have here, and we're going to start from scratch. So the first thing we want to start with though is our background. If you notice up here, if you hit Option on a Mac, I believe it's Control on a PC, and click the fill button, it actually changes. So we're going to change this to where it's the center one right there. And then I'm going to first make the image, and then when you change to the pointer tool, if you grab this little guy right here and you drag it, that's what gives you the gradient. So we're just going to do a small gradient, probably about like that right there. Next up, we want to get revolution on here. So if we click right here, right click or control click, we're going to hit text, and we're going to change this to the font that I used for this, which is Amatic, and we're going to make it red. Let's type in revolution. We can then drag the font up quite a bit. Another way to do it would be to drag it over to where you want it to be and grab the top right button and drag. I still make room for the star, so let's put that there. Next, let's go ahead and make student ministries. We want to drag the star down here, actually on top of everything. We want to move that down. The best way to actually change the size of this to keep it all the same size is to hit Option S, or you can also just hit this button here. Go down to scale, and we're going to scale it down so that we can make it kind of fit the height and the length right there. And I'm actually going to scale this back just a tad so that I can make the star bigger. One really cool thing to do would be to add a shadow to everything. So we're going to hold shift and hit all 3 of these. We're going to right click or control click and go to Effect, Perspective, and Drop Shadow. This really does most of it for you, but if you come over here, we can bring that opacity to about 60. We're going to change our direction just a tad. We want to bring the distance even further away. And I actually want to make it a little bit softer. Probably right about there. Obviously that only changed it for revolution though, so we do have to go back up here and change this for everything else. Alright, so now that we have the shadows on here, the next part is setting it up to get ready for the animation. We need to set up masks. Now the way the mask works is when the mask is showing on an object, you can see it, but when the mask is pulled off of that object no longer is showing unless it's inside the box. Let me show you an example of a mask using revolution. If we come up here and we're just going to hit new mask, whatever is inside the yellow you can see. If I then take that and move the box over, you no longer can see it. Also, with that, if I hit my click away and then come back, I can then move like this and cut off portions of that. The reason this is good to know is you can do shatter effects in After Effects by taking text, bringing certain parts of it away, and duplicating that same text to make it look like one piece of text is splitting up into multiple pieces. We might try to do a tutorial on that another day though. For now, what we need to do though is get the star to begin moving, and then the mask will follow that. It's actually very easy. What we want first though is we want to pick the spot where everything shows up at the same time. Let's say that we choose the 3-second mark to be that. We're going to come over here and go all the way down to transform, and all you have to do is click the first one and drag down. We're then going to go to student ministries and do the same thing, as well as the star and do the same thing. The next thing that we want to do now is go all the way back to the start, and this is where the next portion will start. This is actually where our star is going to begin. One key piece of advice though is that you don't have to have Revolution Student Ministries show the whole time and hide that. You can actually move this little bar right here and it will move away. So the first thing we're going to do is bring the star off of the screen at the very beginning. It will fly on, revealing Revolution, and then Student Ministries will fall out of that. The easiest way to do that is to come over here to Position and drag it all the way over. We can see it's going to be a pretty small number, so we can kind of guess. I hit 0, it's almost all the way off. So we'll bring it off the screen right there. The next thing we want to do is actually move over a little bit. We don't want it to come on right away. Let's wait until about half of a second, and let's actually just hit 0, and then let's drag that backwards to come off the screen again. But just because we want everything showing on the 3-second mark doesn't mean that's where we want the star to quit. So we're actually going to move this back to about 1.5 seconds, and if we copy by Command C or Control C and then paste on the place, it will then show there. Then when I go back to the beginning and I hit spacebar, we'll watch it fly in a lot faster. So if we close star except for keeping our marker on the ending portion and we open Revolution, what we want to do is hit mask and open this up, and we want to highlight everything here. Then we want to drag this back to right before the star begins to cross Revolution or reveal Revolution, and we want to hit everything again. And this is where we move it. So we grab the first portion here and we move that back to about here, and we move this one back here. Now this kind of is a playing part. This is where you have to just really play with it. What I'm going to do is hit spacebar, and we're going to watch and see how well it follows it. That actually worked really well, and if we go slow motion you can see it follows it pretty well and looks like it is being revealed as the star goes over it. The next part that we want to do then is we want to put the mask on Student Ministries. So that's episode 11, the basics of After Effects and creating an animated logo. Click the button at the end of this video that will send you to episode 12, giving you even more information about After Effects and more details about how the entire effect of this animated logo was made. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.